There is a star in the northern sky that's guided sailors and travelers and explorers for thousands of years. Not because it's the brightest star in the sky. It's not because it's the closest. It's not that either, but because of one extraordinary, irreplaceable quality. It does not move. When everything else is shifting, when the seasons turn and the constellations rotate and the skies change, the North Star holds its position. It remains. And so for centuries, it has been the one thing a lost person could look up and trust. Welcome to North Star. And so if you found your way today, whether someone sent you this, whether the algorithm pushed this your way, whether you stumbled on it in the quiet moment between the noise of your life, I want you to know something before we go any further. This is not an accident. And you're exactly who I had in mind when I sat down to build this podcast. I built it for the young person who is talented, genuinely, undeniably gifted, but who keeps crashing, not for lack of skill or lack of knowledge, but for something harder to name sometimes. Sometimes the world doesn't teach you this. Sometimes this is something that the world doesn't teach you in school, doesn't always model at home, and rarely speaks about clearly enough to actually land. I built this podcast for the young professional who is climbing but doesn't fully understand the terrain, who is working hard, incredibly hard, but working in ways that are quietly costing them more than they are gaining. I built this for teenagers sitting somewhere right now, trying to figure out who they are and where they're headed in the world that is throwing them 1,000 directions at once and calling all of them forward. I built this for the young adults, that's trying to execute between who they were and who they are becoming, who needs not just information but orientation, not just content but a compass. And this is for everyone who's skilled but searching, gifted but sometimes directionless, moving fast but quietly unsure of where exactly they are going. I want you to know that I see you and this podcast is for you. And in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, verse 15, the Bible says, the toil of a fool wearies him, for he does not know the way to the city. Read it again slowly and get the context, okay? Let it sink in. Check, the fool is not lazy. That is the first thing that we need to establish. He's toiling, he's working, he's putting in the effort, but he's weary. It means he has been at this for a while. This is not a man sitting down doing nothing. This is a man expanding energy, real energy, but he's wearied and he's producing nothing. He's exhausted, but not arriving at his destination. He's busy, but not building. He's moving, but not progressing. And the reason is, the devastating reason is that he does not know the way to the city. He has no direction. He has no map. He has no wisdom about the terrain between here and there. And so all his efforts, all that toil and sweat and weariness is just spinning, just noise and motion without destination. And I've watched this play out in real lives, in real time. I've watched brilliant people with gifts that make you stop and stare, exhaust themselves building towards outcomes they never reach, not because they lack ability, but because nobody ever really showed them the way to the city. This is the deficit of our generation, not skill, not intelligence, not ambition. We have those in abundance. The deficit is wisdom. The deficit is direction. The deficit is the understanding of principles, time, tested, living, proven, structurally sound principles that allow a person to put their gift and build something with it that actually lasts. The North Star exists to address that deficit, to help you find a way to the city. The North Star is a platform, a little school of life where we break into the rudiments, the foundations, principles, and values that most people assume you absorb by osmosis, that millions of people are navigating without, because nobody ever sat them down to make these principles plain. We'll talk about delayed gratification, reputation capital, relationship capital, self-leadership, because before you can lead anything or anyone outside yourself, you must be capable of leading the person in the mirror. And that is daily work, intentional, sometimes brutal, sometimes humbling, but always necessary work. We'll talk about the glory graph of your life, the growth stage, the climbing, the peak and the decline, and the art of reinventing yourself, because you see, every life has seasons, and wisdom is knowing which season you are in and what that season requires of you. And the fool applies summer strategies in winter and wonders why nothing is growing. And we'll have these conversations pegged around the 7 mountains of influence that shape our lives and our world, from faith to family, education, government, media, art, and business. Because wisdom is not siloed, it touches every area of our lives, and the principles that build up a family are not entirely separate from the principles that build an organization or a great nation. So let me tell you why I named this podcast why I named it. Because the North Star doesn't ask you to worship it. It doesn't demand that you orient your entire life around its agenda. It simply holds its position faithfully, consistently, without fanfare, and offers you a reference point, a fixed point in the sky, full of movement, a place to look when you've lost your bearing and need to find them again. That is what I want this to be for you, not a doctrine, not a prescription, not a one-size answer to the complex, layered, deeply personal questions of your life. Just a reference point, a place you can come back to when the noise gets loud and the path gets unclear. A voice that says, not here is the answer, but here is the principle. Here is the question worth sitting with. Here is a truth that has held across generations and cultures and circumstances that's worth considering for yours as well. That's my prayer for you, and that's what I trust that would happen with you. The North Star has guided explorers across uncharted seas. It has brought wanderers back home. It has helped people who were completely lost find enough orientation to take the next step, and then the next, and then the next. And I pray for you today that for someone who is lost or disoriented or tired and gifted but uncertain of direction, the North Star becomes the one fixed point in the sky that helps you find your way. Before we go any further, I want you to know the intention and the heart on which this platform was built. I'm not speaking from a place of having arrived or having figured it all out or being the authority or the right way to lead your life. I'm not a judge. I'm not a critic. I'm not the person who has climbed some summit and looking down and telling you how to get to where I am. I'm a fellow traveler, someone who has been on this road. I've made costly mistakes. I've learned some of the hard lessons, found some of the signposts, and who is compelled genuinely to share what I am saying as I walk in the hope that it makes your road a little clearer, a little less treacherous, a little better lit, if you get what I mean, right? On this platform, we'll be growing together day by day, sharpening each other in love, in understanding, iron sharpening iron, not to wound, but to make the edge keener, to make us more capable, more ready, more equipped for the road ahead. If you're a young person, a teenager sitting somewhere trying to figure out the shape of your future, this is for you. If you're a young adult or already in the middle of building your life, your career, your relationships, your identity, your name, this is for you. If you're at the peak and quietly sensing that something needs to shift and the strategies that brought you here might not be the strategy that will sustain you, this is for you. And if you're somewhere in between all this, someone that doesn't fit neatly into any of these categories, somewhere in the beautiful, complicated, unresolved middle of your story, this is absolutely for you. You were made for a destination. You were given gifts by God for a purpose, and between who you are today and the fullness of what you're capable of becoming, there's a road, a pathway. The North Star exists to help you find it, walk in wisdom, and not spend your energy in the weakness of a fool. You don't have to know the way to the city. You just need to start and navigate by. Look up. This is North Star. I'm your host, Caleb Anthony, and this is only the beginning.